So recently we discussed the craziest soap opera reality TV show that the good herb has to offer, and that is hemp down in Texas. Now I told you guys Governor Abbott signed an executive order relating to the good herb, and that was a little bit of a win considering the only other option was a flat out ban courtesy Lieutenant Dan Patrick. But now barely 2 weeks later and the soap opera continues, and it feels like Big Alcohol is making rules for the can community as the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission is now making emergency rules while veterans fight to keep it legal, rappers are being arrested, and the DEA discovers a tunnel under a Texas vape shop that could have criminal cartel ties.
Recently discovered on the southern border, DEA agents uncovering a 25-foot tunnel allegedly being used to smuggle drugs. The tunnel was under construction beneath a vape shop in Laredo, Texas. Authorities seizing cocaine and marijuana as well as construction gear used to build that tunnel. News Nation's Jorge Ventura is live for us there in Laredo. Jorge, what can you tell us?
Well, Nicole, now the multi-agency investigation is underway after authorities say they were alarmed when they discovered a suspicious tunnel at this vape shop right behind me. It's that black building right here, Kush Smoke Emporium. Now, this was part of an operation dubbed Operation Vaporizer, where the DEA targeted vape shops across the country, including right here on the border in Laredo, vape shops selling illegal substances. Now, during that operation, DEA agents alongside Laredo PD uncovered a suspicious tunnel. The Webb County District Office telling News Nation that the multi-agency search was led by the DEA, that tunnel was located in the back of the shop and did lead agents to a concealed room. The DEA says the purpose for this tunnel was for illicit use and appeared to be still under construction. Authorities did seize marijuana and cocaine at the shop. The shop owner, Gilberto Pena, was arrested and charged with possession of controlled substance. Operation Vaporizer was launched to crack down on vape shops selling vape pens with THC or other illegal substances. A total of 22 shops were inspected here in Laredo. Just one other arrest was made aside from Pena. Now, investigation into the tunnel is now underway for possible ties to a criminal organization. Laredo is a key entry smuggling point for some of the most dangerous cartels just across the border.
There is a follow-up investigation being done, forensics through phones and other data that DEA and local and state authorities are looking to see if this was part of a bigger organization. There always seems to be ties, being that we are on the border here in Laredo, Texas, with Mexico. We are the gateway city into the United States.
Now, Laredo PD says that in the next coming days, a separate unit will go into that vape shop and then dismantle that tunnel. Texas DPS tells me because of the latest crackdown on illegal immigration, cartels are relying more on tunnels and drainage systems for drug and human smuggling here on the Texas border, Nicole.
Now, I told you guys, some of this stuff is straight out of a movie. The soap opera reality TV show is going crazy. You guys need to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. The Legal News Network has got you covered. But that's pretty crazy, guys, and that's a big reason why a lot of folks are cracking down on some of these illegal smoke shops, some of these illegal vape shops and convenience stores, some of these places like gas stations selling unlicensed products, because they're obviously taking liberties that they should not and screwing the market over. That's literally what they're doing, because there are a lot of people who are actually following the laws, but one or two bad actors are really smearing the industry with a negative image. And I think that that's something that a lot of people need to paint that distinction between the good actors and the bad actors. And if I'm being real with you guys, it's because of folks like that person who is running that shop that these types of senators are literally pushing for states to adopt more restrictive hemp rules, especially after some of those THC bills which they proposed failed. Now, there are certain restrictions which I can get behind, such as age limits and age caps on certain products. That's no problem. But if there are too many regulations that effectively stifle the industry, then you obviously have a problem, because the industry cannot survive. Now, I mentioned to you guys about some of those new emergency rules which actually ban some of those sales to anyone under the age of 21, and that is in line with Governor Abbott's executive order. But the interesting thing about all this is that the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission is actually the one who's making the rules. Check it out.
New today, emergency rules are now in place to allow THC retailers to sell cannabis products to adults over the age of 21. Now, this takes effect 2 weeks after Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order. NBC5's Phil Prazen live in the newsroom with these new details for us tonight. Phil?
So this essentially legalizes low doses of cannabis products in Texas. You must be 21, however, and you can only buy products with a 0.3 toxicity level. It ends a pretty intense battle.
Our votes have been recorded and the motion is approved.
Commissioners on the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission appointed by the governor finalized emergency rules Tuesday for THC cannabis products, siding with the industry and ending a year-long struggle.
And I want to thank TABC for finally working to put an age gate in place. It's been something that we've wanted for a very long time and have struggled to get, so it's an honor to be here and work with you.
Beginning October 1st, officers with the TABC will require retailers to verify the IDs of customers. The Department of State Health Services will lay out other rules like requiring low-level cannabis products.
Now, as you guys can see, those emergency rules are in effect and will come into force on October the 1st. Now, like I said, it's pretty interesting that it's the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission that is making these emergency rules, and I do wonder how far these rules can go. I have no problem with the age cap, the age limits. Some people may prefer 18 versus 21. That's up for debate, but my real concern is how far do their powers go, especially when it comes to things like other types of rules, regulation, taxes. There's a lot of different things that can fall under rulemaking, and it'll be really interesting to see exactly what their powers look like. Is it only limited to what Governor Abbott had outlined in his executive order, or is there some gray area which we just don't know about yet?
Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission created an emergency rule banning the sale of consumable hemp products to Texans under the age of 21. Now, this all happened today, and the change comes 13 days after Governor Greg Abbott's executive order demanding the TABC and the Department of State Health Services take steps to keep consumable hemp and its intoxicating chemical THC out of the hands of children. Good evening to you. I'm Jennifer Sanders.
I'm Daniel Marine. Our Adam Schwager reports on how this non-controversial change could set up rulemaking battles over THC.
Our votes have been recorded and the motion is approved.
Hemp retailers now required to keep their consumable products out of the hands of children.
Law is just catching up with where the industry is already at, what we're already doing.
Nick Mortellaro is a hemp shop operator who's already looking for solutions, creating his own vending machines using the iPhone's facial recognition software to prevent underage sales.
So it is extremely accurate. Doesn't matter if you cut your hair, shave, grow a beard, whatever it is, it'll know. Place my ID inside the scanner.
After verifying, the machine will allow the age-restricted product to be purchased.
Cannabis is not an ordinary commodity. It's intoxicating, it causes impaired driving.
Not everyone is satisfied with Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission's emergency rule. Betsy Jones with Texans for Safe and Drug-Free Use hopes the final rule will see no sales to those under the age of 25.
Now we know that the brain isn't ready to start making those kinds of decisions until 25.
This decision from TABC today is just the start. State Senator Charles Perry has asked DSHS and the Department of Agriculture to change the definition of hemp to ban the type Texans use to get high. Ag Commissioner Sid Miller says he's waiting to see if other Texas leaders agree.
Senator Perry's a good friend. He does a good job, but he's one legislator out of 181. So I want to make sure that the whole team has buy-in.
Perry authored the bill to ban THC products, which Governor Abbott vetoed. Mortellaro thinks Perry's attempt is an effort to circumvent Abbott's veto and hopes the agencies listen to industry leaders over politicians who tried to ban the substance.
So as you guys would have heard in that clip, people are never happy. You just can't please everyone. That's just how life is. There's always going to be someone who thinks that what you're doing is not enough. Oh, they want to protect the kids, but when you try to protect the kids, they want more. Now let's take it back real quick to some of this facial recognition software. The age verification thing I have no problem with. Checking IDs, making sure it looks okay, that's fine. Even when you scan IDs, I have a little bit of a problem with that. Where is that information going? Is it being scanned on a register? Is my information being logged on a register? And this facial recognition software just takes it a step further. It can tell if you shaved your beard, if you shaved your head, if you put on a wig. It's really in-depth. And that I'm not 100% on board with. It does feel a little bit invasive, but I'll be interested to find out what you guys think about that. Now that's not the only thing, but there are also policy advocates like Betsy Jones, who's actually a policy advocate at Texans for Safe and Drug-Free Use. Now she thinks 25 should be the right age for a lot of these products to be sold at. No one under 25. That's actually a 7-year difference from when you're allowed to join the army, get a license, drive, all types of stuff. And also, in that clip, they showed Texas Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller. He's the guy wearing the hat in that picture right there. And we heard him discuss in the past that he wants to protect the Texas hemp industry. But as far as he's concerned, hemp only involves hempcrete, hemp blocks, textiles, and those sorts of stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, some of those things like textiles, blocks, etc., that's not what bring people medical relief. Now again, I agree with the age caps, and I want to show you guys what other folks in the industry have to say in response to some of these rules. And I also want to show you guys something pretty cool where a company behind edible arrangements actually expands their deliveries across 30 states after a successful launch in Texas. But before we do, just a quick reminder, if you're getting value from this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us further, join the ICANN VIP Bean Club or just buy us a cup of coffee. And if you happen to be a home gardener, try the ICANN Organics, use the code LEGAL, it works on the bundle and the beans. And we just dropped a new fem line. It's going super fast, only 62 packs, so grab them before they're all gone.
Today, the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission will decide on emergency rules regulating consumable hemp product.
Yeah, earlier this month, Governor Greg Abbott signed an executive order for Texas agencies to crack down on hemp-derived products and keep them out of the hands of kids.
We're extremely pleased with that, and we're happy that that was implemented.
As of October 1st, multiple state departments will begin requiring and enforcing that licensed shops can no longer sell consumable hemp products to minors, meaning anyone under 21, and will mandate that these stores validate IDs before a sale is made. One local hemp shop saying they've been pushing for laws like this.
Texas, it's a free state. I mean, you can use tobacco, you can use alcohol freely, so we really feel that hemp should be the same way as long as we have lab-tested products in our store, as we've had since 2018. We think that it should just be 21 and over.
According to the TABC, violators of the laws can face having their licenses and permits revoked. Other penalties from the Texas Department of State Health Services can also follow.
We want to make sure that they're taking those steps and complying with the governor's executive orders. In any case, it will result in a serious loss of revenue for these businesses. For many of them, their liquor license is a chief source of revenue.
Texas lawmakers have long debated the regulation of THC products in the state, even considering prohibiting derived products altogether during the 89th legislative session, which was vetoed by Governor Greg Abbott.
So in my view, these are small tweaks, necessary tweaks, in a system that can have big changes and big repercussions if you don't follow those simple age verification procedures. Because think of it, guys, if you lose your license, you're no longer able to sell product legally. Obviously, that's going to negatively inflect your business and impact your bottom line and your profits. In this situation in Texas, there are two departments involved: the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission as well as the DSHS, Texas Department of State Health Services. And the DSHS issues hemp product licenses and the Alcoholic Beverage Commission issues liquor licenses. So if you're in a situation where you happen to be selling both, maybe a convenience store or something like that, you can lose both licenses, and that could be detrimental. Now, despite the progress that it feels like we're making down in Texas when it comes to the good herb, recently a well-known rapper was arrested for a few grams. Now, we're going to get into the details of that in a bit, but first I want to show you guys where veterans are actually leading the fight to keep THC legal in Texas. Check it out.
The night team Zaria Oates caught up with people who are happy about those age restrictions, but also worried about the future of being able to access THC in Texas.
We've been telling you about changes happening with THC at the state level for a while now. And today we're walking into the VFW Post 76 downtown to talk to veterans in San Antonio about why THC is so important to them.
It's much better than the SSRIs that the VA shoves down our throat.
For some, it's an alternative to pharmaceuticals. For others, it's an assist to stop drinking.
We're tired of seeing their friends lose it over alcohol. Like I myself have many friends that are shifting from alcohol to THC products.
But for the Texas legislature, THC is controversial.
Nearly everybody I know knows someone that cannabis has helped.
Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller is responsible for regulating hemp harvesting in the state. He doesn't have a say in the decision like lawmakers do, but he does know how it'll affect Texans.
If we do implement a complete and 100% ban, it'll put 6,000 businesses out of business.
And it's not only the businesses who could be impacted.
If you're for banning THC products, then you're for veteran suicide.
No changes were made to THC laws during the special sessions this summer, but Governor Abbott did sign an executive order requiring age regulations and childproof packaging.
It should be regulated just like alcohol and liquor.
But some veterans want more. Daniel Esterline is a veteran who lived in Michigan when the state voted to make THC recreational.
There was a certain amount that's allocated to the schools, so the school got more money, the roads got more money. The first year, the tax revenue was the amount was just so profound that everybody's mind changed about marijuana.
According to the Michigan Cannabis Industry Association, since Michigan legalized marijuana in 2019, the state has collected more than $1.7 billion in adult use cannabis tax revenue. It's a long-term goal some of these veterans have, but for now, they just hope THC stays legal.
I think the restrictions, though, are good, and they should just stop right there.
So as you guys can see, veterans are on the forefront when it comes to some of these products and the relief that they need. And it's interesting to hear what Sid Miller said in that clip, because that's a far cry from what he said a few months back when we actually showed what he said on this channel. And that is that the hemp ban will not hurt the hemp industry at all, simply because the hemp industry is focused on things like hempcrete, textiles, and the like. And obviously, after all the people spoke out, he's realized that that's not the case. Now I want to show you guys a quick clip where rapper Big X the Plug was arrested for possession of the good herb, but he was also carrying a firearm. And all of this happened following an album release party that he had for his new album. Check it out.
North Texas rapper Big X the Plug spent the morning of his new album release in the Dallas County Jail.
The 27-year-old was arrested last night, accused of illegally carrying a firearm and marijuana. He walked out of jail this afternoon and did not answer any questions. Instead, just kept repeating the name of his new album. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager was at the jail when the release happened. Peyton.
Hi, Steve and Heather. Yeah, Big X the Plug was pulled over by police Thursday evening and then booked here at the Dallas County Jail 2 a.m. Friday morning, and then he bonded out about 12 hours later this afternoon. He used that moment to talk about his new album to reporters, which was also released today. With a smile on his face, Dallas rapper Big X the Plug bonded out of the Dallas County Jail Friday afternoon.
I hope you're happy. I'm not out of the way.
And he didn't answer any questions other than promoting his new album, which was also released on Friday. Big X the Plug's real name, 27-year-old Xavier Landum. Landum was booked overnight on 2 misdemeanor charges: possession of marijuana, less than 2 ounces, and unlawful possession of a firearm. The rapper was scheduled to make an appearance late Thursday evening at the Deep Ellum Club Cash Cow, a party to celebrate his new music. However, just hours before, he was arrested in Pleasant Grove. Just before 9 p.m. Thursday, an officer said he noticed a Ram truck pull out of Williams Chicken without a front license plate. According to an arrest warrant affidavit Fox 4 obtained on Friday, Dallas police were already patrolling Great Trinity Forest Way due to a tip about a car club meetup. The officer conducted a traffic stop and asked Landum if he had any weapons in the vehicle. Landum replied, "Mine is under my armrest." Police say they found 2 firearms and a small amount of marijuana. They also found Landum's name in a gang database documented by Arlington police, which makes it a misdemeanor for him to possess a firearm in Texas. Back in February, Landum was arrested by Arlington police on 1 count of marijuana possession, less than 2 ounces. That charge was later dismissed.
Now, despite the initial charge for a few grams being dismissed, having to go through that is completely crazy. Now, that being said, the other details of the case, I'll leave you guys to discuss that. But on a brighter note, we do have this, which is a company behind those edible arrangements expand across 30 states after a successful launch in Texas. So it's not all doom and gloom in Texas, guys, but the soap opera reality TV show definitely does continue. So let me know what you guys think about that update. What do you guys think about the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission actually being the one who's issuing some of these emergency rules? Is that a little bit of a conflict of interest or not? What do you guys think about that? And also, what do you guys think about Big X the Plug being arrested? And most importantly, what do you guys think about that crazy tunnel that they found under that vape shop down in Texas? Drop it all in the comments and let me know. Now, I know a lot of you guys are home gardeners, and Texas is not necessarily a state for legal home gardening, but there's a list of states that we broke down that are the best states when it comes to home gardening laws. So check that out because it's coming up right now.